Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Silver Surfer Shalla Bal. She recently came out as a new character, even though everybody was thinking it's gonna be a new uniform for the pre-existing Silver Surfer. We were lucky enough to get a new character. Just like Adam Warlock, she costs 6,600 crystals usually, but right now is on a discount for 5,280 crystals. If you level her up to a certain level, you also get 1,000 or so crystals back. That makes her slightly less discounted, but still, it's a very big investment for any account. And on top of that, being a native tier 2 character, it's very expensive to level her up to tier 3 and then tier 4. However, in this video today, we're going to be taking a look at her PvP performance at tier 380 and tier 4. So let's get straight into it. We're going to be starting with timeline battle and then move on to Otherworld battle and also look at a few battles in team battle arena. So let's get started. We are starting off against a Sentry team. Even though in timeline battle this week Sentry was banned, I found a team with Sentry well built, and as you can see, she's struggling a lot against Sentry. You can see she is dealing not enough damage to take him out. On top of that, her survivability is also pretty whack. So we ended up losing very easily. Then we tried to take on a Null team. This time around, there was only one support instead of a double support, and still we got one tapped by Null. Her skills, I don't feel like are optimized correctly for her to be very strong in PvP. She has iframe ignore with counterattack on her 5th skill, which she uses as her opening skill on autoplay, but her heal is on her 3rd skill. You need them to work in unison for the best results. Since she doesn't have them in the same skill, it's a bit difficult for her to actually be healing and dealing enough damage to actually survive long enough to take down her opponents. So yeah, she seems to struggle a lot in that regards, surviving and dealing damage. So she's lacking in both cases, especially at tier 380. For the final battle, I took her up against a Silver Surfer with the Void uniform. And as you can see, she struggles with dealing enough damage to the point where Silver Surfer just kills her and nullifies her reflect with his. And it ends in Shalla Bal actually losing to him. I think that's enough timeline battle testing. Now we can move on to Otherworld battle testing. I feel like she holds a little bit more value here, even as a character without a uniform, because she has the debuff cleanse as her support ability. So even when you have restrictions on someone like Sue Storm or Wasp, you can use her as a formidable team member for your Otherworld battle team, who will also provide a debuff cleanse. So as you can see, in the first battle she struggled a little bit. She wasn't doing much on her own, but she relied more on her teammate to win the battle. And even here, as soon as she comes in, she gets instantly one tapped, and then once she comes back, she triggers her 5th ability, and she's in the 4 seconds of invincibility, but dies right after that invincibility ends. So we're gonna go to the final Otherworld battle test and see how she does here. After that, we can move forward to tier 4 again. So here you can see she wasn't targeting it in the beginning, so she triggered her 5th skill and went into invincibility. But as soon as the invincibility ended, she died. And then after she came back, the same exact thing happened. She was in her invincibility, but died right after. So yeah, it just goes to show that how underwhelming her performance is right now. So without further ado, let's just tier for her. Wow, from tier 4ing her, we actually got almost 20,000 energy attack boost and a 31,000 HP boost. Hopefully the survivability improvement and the damage output is good enough for her to actually be useful in PvP compared to her tier 3 showing. So the build stayed the exact same. These are her stats right now. I haven't really spoken about her build before, but she does have a 5-star artifact, which is very crucial for her to be usable in PvP. You need at least 3-star or a 4-star for her to revive. The revive ability, as we all know, is very crucial for PvP characters. So we start with our first timeline battle test against the Sentry team. I'm expecting to take at least one of his lives, but okay, we already died without taking him out, but we put him very low and we were actually able to take him out at least once. The reflect actually got him, but it seems like we just ended up dying at the end and losing anyways. But that's good, at least we see an improvement already. Let's see how she does against the null team now. Yeah, so she already dies as soon as she gets in the battlefield. And then we trigger her 5th skill, barely get him down to like 40% of his health, and then we just die to him. So yeah, the result hasn't changed as much, but we're dealing slightly more damage. I'm trying once more against the same exact null, but yeah, it just seems like her survivability and like her damage dealing ability isn't good enough to stand a chance against the native tier 3s. So yeah, we're going to be taking her up against the Silver Surfer team. We are already dealing enough damage to take him out, so you can see there was a slight improvement. Previously, we only took out Silver Surfer's first life. So yeah, this time around we were actually able to take him out completely, but eventually we did die to Null again. So it seems like she's able to compete with like the older metas or like the washed characters, but that's not what we're trying to compete against. So I tried to battle with that same exact surfer again to see if it's consistent. So we died this time first, but I still think we can take him out. And yeah, with the 5th skill we were able to take him out. But you can see we're at very low HP and we end up dying to the null again. The same exact result as before. One last attempt against a null team. Hopefully this time we're able to like at least deal enough damage to trigger his immortality. But as you can see, she's struggling to take out the supports. Like she's not even one-tapping them. She struggles to deal enough damage. Yeah, once we're up against Null, we get him down to like 30% HP. Even when we trigger her 5th skill, we get him as low as like 20% HP and then die to him instantly. So yeah, we're done with the timeline battle testing. The results haven't improved as much. We were only able to take out the Silver Surfer. But let's see how she does in Otherworld battle. So we're up against the first team we faced in Otherworld battle previously. So she comes in the battlefield and then gets insta one-tapped. And yeah, the same exact thing happens as before. She comes back out from her revive and triggers her 5th skill. Stays invincible for the 4 seconds and then dies right after. So I don't really think we see much of an improvement from her performance. Bit of a bummer, but let's see how she does in the second battle. So yeah, she comes in, one tap. What is wrong with her? She like gets one tap instantly. I have a Mighty Conquest on her. Seems like we need like a Brilliant for her to be like usable. The same thing keeps happening over and over again. 5th skill, invincible for 4 seconds, and then dies instantly after. Like, the character is already so expensive. I don't get why the game would make it so trash. I'm almost regretting tier 4ing her, even though she is going to be good value long term. I feel like it was a waste in the moment. So, yeah. Okay, see, but she survives a little bit and then just gets one tap. It's very underwhelming to see how she's performing for a native tier 2 who costs so much. Yeah, her reflect is not strong enough, and her damage is not good enough, and her survivability is just not good enough. So yeah, that ends our Otherworld battle testing. Now I'm gonna test her out in Team Battle Arena. So we're up against a Sentry team first. Let's see how she gets on. So yeah, she gets insta one tapped. She survives less than like a Thanos. And yeah, she just gets annihilated completely. Let's see how she does against like the Carnage Silver Surfer team. She survives a bit longer here. She triggers her 3rd skill for the heal. She's the last one alive. She almost killed the Silver Surfer, like, yeah, and then she kills the Silver Surfer with her reflect. And is struggling against the Carnage, and the Silver Surfer is back, and then she just dies to Silver Surfer's reflect. Let's try against like another Sentry team. Hopefully she's able to at least take out first. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, she just gets one tap. Okay, we are able to actually take Sentry's first life through the reflect, but then we just died. Let's take a look at some off-meta teams, how she does against them. So she gets one tapped again. She comes back and her reflect actually deals a decent amount of damage. And then, yeah, she survives long enough to take out the Jean, but dies to the Madeline. Once again, let me try her out against the Carnage Silver Surfer team. This time around, she's surviving a little longer. She is... Okay, she just dies to Carnage's 5th skill. But as soon as she revives, her reflect is good enough to kill the Silver Surfer. But yeah, she just doesn't deal enough damage to take out the Carnage. Yeah, we're up against now an Atom team. The Atom gets taken out almost instantly from the reflect, and yeah, she gets one tapped again by the Atom, and we're lucky enough to take him down with the help of our 5th skill. But yeah, while we're at it, I opened a dimension chest for the CTP from the arena shop. But yeah, that ends the testing, and honestly, I'm very underwhelmed with the performance I just saw. I am quite disappointed in the showing, and given how much resources I had to spend to actually get her, and then also obtain her artifact, and then building her up to tier 4 as a native tier 2 character, I feel like she is not worth it at the moment. Hopefully in the future she receives like a uniform and a rework, and also maybe like a rework to her skills could like potentially improve her, you know, value as a character. Use her with Mighty Conquest. Maybe if I use her with a Brilliant Conquest, I would have seen better results. But I feel like the investment is already way too big to be able to like get a little bit of return that we're hoping for. So yeah, honestly, stay away from this character for now unless they get a rework on her. I'm quite disappointed in the results from this video, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll try my best to utilize her debuff cleanse support ability in Otherworld Battle and Team Battle Arena, but that's the only value that comes to my mind off the top of the head. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts down below. Have a great one. Peace.